I'll call the roll.
Thank you.
Yep, Commissioner Collins,
Here.
Commissioner Martinez,
Here.
Commissioner Alminas, currently absent. Commissioner Miller is currently absent. Commissioner Jones is currently absent. Commissioner Ryan,
Here.
Commissioner Bajorni.
Here.
Well, that's interesting. The screen indicates you're muted, Paul, but you're not.
I just keep it on mute until I speak, I guess. Safe bet.
He's fast, Chris. He turns it on and off quickly.
Oh. Alva, would you note that Pete Alminas is here as well?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So the only item on the agenda is a request for determination of applicability related to exploratory borings, horizontal directional drill, construction method replacement of lines at the property known as Rear West Columbus Avenue, aka 135 Clinton Street. Eversource Energy, Ty and Bond is here. And I believe you explained them last time. Is that right, Melissa?
Yes, I did have the opportunity to address the commission at its August 8th meeting. I don't believe you were present at the time. So would you like me to recap in a nutshell?
If you want to, I think I know what they are, but go ahead. If it's a nutshell, go ahead.
So the goal of the project is to collect geotechnical data sufficient to design a horizontal directional drill to replace existing underground transmission lines. These lines were constructed beneath the Connecticut River, and their useful life is coming to an end. And before that happens in a catastrophic way, the goal is to construct their replacement. As I'm sure the commission is aware, the Connecticut River is a rather sensitive environmental area from a wetlands resources perspective, as well as rare species. And so the ultimate goal is to construct the replacement line without actually being in the river. But in order to do that, the engineers need to understand the soil profile, the subsurface geology, so that they design the horizontal directional drill appropriately to succeed. And in order to do that, we need to collect some profile data, including locations within the river itself. So the goal is to advance borings in the river along two potential alignments. One is there's a preferred and an alternate. And to do so by advancing a fully cased boring to depths of up to 70 feet or so. The fully cased is basically, they're going to spin the auger within they'll vibrate in a casing. So it'll be completely contained within that casing. And then the drilling spoils will be returned to the auger hole, and they'll remove the casing and move on to the next location. They will do this from a barge. So obviously conditions in the river need to be suitable in order for the barge. Yes, and we've all seen what the river's been like this year. So we're all painfully aware of how much things need to align, but the data needs to be collected, so they will wait until conditions are suitable. The locations are shown on the figure that was included in the RDA package. And I think the commission members wanted a little more time to review the application and come back to discussion this evening.
Okay. After reviewing it and thinking about what we've done in the past, I seem to be leaning towards that we would be a -3 determination, but with asking you to provide reports prior to the drilling and after you're done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Depending, how long is it going to take, Melissa?
So overall, for the 10 proposed borings between Springfield and West Springfield, we're estimating 2 days per boring location to mobilize, set up, stabilize, do the work, and move on. That's a conservative estimate, so 10 to 20 days total in the river.
And half of that being in Springfield.
Half of that being on the Springfield side. Actually, probably 8 days of that being on the Springfield side. There are slightly more on the West Springfield side of the line than on the Springfield side. And West Springfield did issue a negative determination about a month ago, and I shared some of their conditions with the commission at the previous meeting. It included 24-hour emergency contact information for the operators, that the contractor provide a contingency plan, essentially whatever may happen in the river, how to safely get themselves and the equipment out of the river. We'd be happy to share that with Springfield as well.
That would be good. Yep. Yeah, because the only thing, I mean, the casing is going to stay there. If God forbid you have to pull out an emergency, it's getting that barge out of
Yeah.
there. Before it ends up down at the falls in Windsor Locks.
Yes.
So I think if we add those to those conditions, and maybe a wrap up when you're done with the Springfield side, just notification.
Sure.
I think then I would be prepared for us to have a -3, provided that material is given to us. Anybody else got an idea on it, or?
Mm-mm.
May
Okay,
we
then-
review, Phil,
ahead.
Chris, may we review a few things?
Sure.
I'm ever environmentally conscious. I'm wondering about the impact of the hammering. I'd like to know more about that, and the vibrating. And then I have another question.
Okay, so they're going to essentially vibrate in the casing into the soft sediment. They will, and then the hammering will be above grade. So it's the same as any drill rig, above grade, above water. The same as any drill rig on a city street doing geotechnical borings or environmental borings.
Okay. And what type of, the cable is holding what kind of transmission lines?
These are electric
Okay, utility.
transmission lines. So they go from the Clinton substation across the river and make their way over to the West Springfield substation near Bondi Island landfill.
Yeah, I saw that on your maps. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So are these, I've been on the commission for a while, are these replacing the ones that it's quite a while ago where they actually trenched across the river to put a new transmission line in?
So I'm not familiar with it. So these lines, and forgive me if I'm not remembering which decade these were installed in versus the one further downriver, which I will be talking with the commission about again soon, I hope. One of the underground transmission mains was constructed in the 1950s. The other was in the early 70s. And these are the original lines here. So if there's another one, there is a distribution line, I believe, in between these two, that may have been constructed more recently.
I think that's the one, and they trenched that one, which was a nightmare.
Any work in the open water of the Connecticut River is going to be extremely challenging, both to permit and to construct.
Yeah.
So the strong goal is to avoid that altogether.
Good. This is certainly a lot better. The impact, we went round and round with that other one.
Yeah.
I remember the contractor wanted to pile all the spoils downstream of the trench. And it was like, what are you talking about? If we ever did get a heavy rain, you want the spoils upstream so that they would fall back into the trench, not go down the river. But it was, and then they hit a dry patch. And so people were calling up because it looked like they had built a bridge.
Oh my
I mean, it
goodness.
was like almost all the way across the river. Not quite all the way across, but it was like, it looked like a road. So it was, I'm glad to hear we're doing it this way instead.
Me too. Yeah, even being a spectator to Springfield Water and Sewers project, I was uncomfortable.
Francis has another question.
Go ahead, Francis.
Yeah. Melissa, we wish you the best. What, as we are waiting for your results and your good luck, what kind of water level are you seeking? The flow of the river? What should we be thinking about?
Sure. So, based on previous years, we are actually focusing our attention more on what the lowest flow or water level conditions we could tolerate without impacting the stream bed from barge movement would be. The stream bed being mussel habitat that natural heritage protects. So at a minimum, there must be a 5-foot water column. I have not been, the contingency plan will also address the high water and high flow. So that will be included in the contingency plan because that hasn't been relayed to me specifically. But as we've all seen, between water quality, turbidity, debris, flow rates, there are a lot of challenges in the Connecticut River this summer so far.
And in a typical year of that river, there's quite a bit of it that is not 5 feet deep.
Yes.
What do they do? Do they work on like a flatboat off the barge and just don't get the barge into that area? Or?
They may not be able to collect those locations.
Oh, okay.
They will collect data to the best of their ability under the conditions at the time. They'll try to avoid obviously they'll try to avoid an extremely low flow period because that presents, as you've noted, a whole separate set of challenges. But if the barge were to drag on the riverbed, that would be an impact to mussel habitat. So we're trying to avoid that as well.
Okay.
Melissa, do you know if this location was chosen because it is a satisfactory 5 feet or more? Or, we're going back, and of course the river changes. But.
Sure. The deeper side of the river is on the Springfield side. That's where the Thalweg is. The alignments were selected based on a number of factors that have to do with the replacement route. And one of the challenges of the project is that the existing circuits have to remain energized until the replacements are constructed. Otherwise, they would need a ridiculous number of generators operating at each substation. And that's not that that's infeasible, but it's not really practical. So we have to, this center line, there's a center line shown on the site plans. That's the center line of the existing duct bank. The two circuits are in the same duct bank. And they're parallel to each other the entire route. The goal is to keep the replacement lines parallel to each other, but they're skewing, the alignment will be skewed from the Clinton substation, either toward the end of Chapin Street or toward the rear of the Boys and Girls Club. And the alignment toward Chapin Street is preferable because it takes it into a roadway.
And you're right, Springfield side is going to be an easier task for them. The channel runs on the Springfield side of the river, so there's a lot more water on the Springfield side. So, any other questions? Then a -3 determination with a list of the materials that Melissa is going to provide. And for Alvin, because you might not have caught it all in the notes, would you send those to him?
Oh,
Melissa?
absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, I
So-
make a motion.
Go
I
ahead.
make a motion to exactly what Chris just said.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Francis. Go ahead, Alvin, you can call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Bongiorni,
Yes.
Commissioner Ryan,
Yes.
Commissioner Almanis.
I
Commissioner,
think he said yes, I believe.
Juanita?
all right,
Yes, yes,
Commissioner Martinez.
yes.
Yes, okay, Commissioner Collins.
Yes,
All right, thank you.
Thank you all
Thank
very
you.
much. I will
Thank
send
you,
that
Melissa.
information off to Alvin.
thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
You have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you, Melissa.
I don't see anything else on the agenda, so a motion to adjourn is in order. And maybe you can get out and sit outside in your porch and enjoy some of this beautiful weather.
Really, I'm already out here.
Oh, I thought that was the background of your porch, the bricks. Yeah,
All right, I make a motion, we adjourn and head out to our outside space.
there we go.
I'll second the motion.
Alvin,
You want to do all in favor or need a roll call?
Just raise
tech-
hands.
technically, well, I guess we can raise our
Oh,
hand.
yeah.
Technically, we're
Alvin,
supposed to
we
do
can
a
barely
roll
hear
call,
you.
but you can see everybody's hand, so
All right.
all in affirmative. Good, thank you.